Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, crypto nerds of all ages. My name is Monty Allen, and I am your crypto nerd. You're a day late and an algo short because this is yesterday's Algorand news. If you see some news out there in the wild, do hashtag ALGOnews. I will find you on Twitter. I am at RealMontyAllen, and let's get to it. So first up today, I want to talk about eToro. So eToro just listed ALGO along with Matic and BAT. So eToro, pretty decent sized cryptocurrency exchange. It's not going to move price. We've seen a lot of price action lately. It's not like listing on an exchange at this point in Algorand's, 2-year history is going to really move the needle, but it's interesting, and I want to cover this because eToro is a relatively, high profile cryptocurrency exchange. When you look at the volume here, look at eToro. So the volume puts it at number 34 there. So it's not top 10, right? Number 34 is kind of far down the list. About $50 million in the last 24 hours, roughly, when I took this screen capture. And, that's good. That's nice. As I mentioned earlier, it's not going to move the needle on the price action. But what I really like about eToro is that they advertise a lot. They've got those commercials with Alec Baldwin. If you haven't seen them, I think it's all over my Hulu. And maybe that's targeted towards me, right? Because they do that because I research crypto and that sort of thing. But I've seen quite a few eToro commercials. And I've seen them advertising on news agencies as well, like CNBC. So I've seen these commercials, and you probably have as well, because we're kind of keyed into these things. But what I'm really interested in is take a look at the weekly visits to eToro. So they rank number 2 right behind Binance for weekly visits. So now, granted, Binance is roughly double the number of weekly visits, but eToro is number 2 in weekly visits as far as cryptocurrency exchanges go, which leads me to believe that there's a lot of folks on there who are just sort of dabbling, right? eToro is a relatively easy interface. They advertise aggressively, and their advertisements are for the layperson. These are geared towards getting somebody new into crypto, and that is really interesting. Now, the volume isn't there yet, but what if all these folks are just putting in, $25, $50, $100? They're just dipping their toe in before they really start to make a move. Now, also look at this eToro. The number of coins listed, it's only 26. Now, I don't know if that includes these 3 that they just added or not, but it's still less than 30. So it's relatively narrow focus, but they've got that many visitors. I like Algo's chances of gaining some traction with newly created crypto investors. So that new market share. Now, as you know, in business, right, you can grow a couple of different ways. You can take your current folks that you already have and expand, their investments. Or you could get new investors in, and that new investor piece of the puzzle is what I'm really, really interested in, and I want to watch that grow. It's the same reason we want the ecosystem to grow, right? Because every time there's a new use case for Algorand, that's a new audience, and that's going to start using our coins or our blockchain, and that's really exciting. That's how we continue to grow. And price action doesn't really matter in that case because it's the adoption that we're looking for. Okay. Next up, we've got this article here on the specialized expertise in the Algorand infrastructure. What is this? So check it out at PureStake. I'll put the link in the description here for you, and actually I'll click this so you can see kind of scrolling through as I speak here. So thanks to at Algo Family, Michael Jordan puts out some great stuff. Really, really thoughtful, thought-provoking, and well-researched tweets that he puts out on a regular basis. But he's talking here about co-chains. And co-chains are coming soon. Now, PureStake is actually just advertising the fact that they are having like turnkey solutions, basically. So they're offering their service to help you set up a co-chain. Now, a co-chain is sort of like a walled garden, but it's an off-chain sort of Algo. You can interact with Algorand, but it's really only got one on-ramp, off-ramp, and it's a one-way door unless you've got the key. So you and I won't know what's going on in this co-chain, but it gets all the benefits of Algo, right? All the benefits of the secure layer 1 protection, the atomic swaps, the ability to have those contracts in place. You get all of those benefits with these co-chain, which is really fantastic. But it's a private chain. And I'm trying to think of use cases for this. And it might be a company that maybe is international. Let's say you're a Sony or something like this. Now, you don't need to offer the Sony coin to everybody, but you have different departments. And what if you transfer inventory from one department to another department? Or let's say you're making chips in one country and you need to ship them here, and essentially you sell them to yourself. And so to keep track of inventory could be for, that type of a purpose, or it could be to keep track of, hey, how productive has this group been? Your internal coins transfer all around. Now that's just one example, and probably a pretty poor one, because I've just kind of come up with that off the cuff. But you can think of some other off-chain examples. I know you can, because I have a very intelligent, smart audience. So think of some examples where a private company could have an off-chain or co-chain walled garden, so to speak. And this gets really interesting. Again, we're talking about adoption here. And I like the fact that PureStake is advertising these turnkey solutions. So it means that there is a market for this, including, quite possibly, central-based digital currencies. So what if a small government decided, hey, I want an Algorand co-chain, and I'm going to place my CBDC on that co-chain? Really, really interesting. And it's all protected, all secure. You get all the benefits of Algo, but it's like white labeling. It's like private labeled something. So maybe that concept we are familiar with. So pretty cool. Go check it out now. I'll put the link in the description. All right, last but not least, we want to follow some money today. So NGMI at GitGudKed did some math for us. Now, I didn't double check this math, but I read it and I thought, man, I need to go get some Yieldly right now. So he did a comparison. Basically, if you bought $7,000 of Yieldly and $7,000 of Algo, what would pay you the most as far as the rewards go, right? The staking rewards. And he did the math and said, hey, Algo would pay me roughly $33 a month, $7,000 worth of Algo. And $7,000 worth of Yieldly, though, would pay me $320 on a monthly basis, almost 10 times as much. Now, I don't imagine that's always going to be the case. Yieldly's got some, because it's brand new, that curve is probably, trying to figure out where it's going to land. But man, that could pay 10 times as much on the staking rewards. And I'm not saying go out and convert all your Algo to Yieldly by any means, but I am saying you should check it out. It's worth following the money and see where that leads us. Speaking of following the money, more and more companies are following the money. And they're saying, hey, some of these smaller guys are making some money on these NFTs. Let's join in. Now, they're a day late and Algo short. Now, and specifically, Mattel here joins the NFT frenzy. Now, they put out their NFT on ETH because they weren't smart like you and I. But they did do this, and and some folks have indicated that they're first of their kind to do this, but really you and I know that diecast NFTs powered by Algorand already did this. I reported on it 3, 4, 5 days ago, and virtually the day after I did it, this New York Times hit where Mattel came out and said that they did it. But hey, you and I know diecast NFTs did it first, and they did it better because it's on Algorand. So but anyway, everybody is getting in on this show. So even though it's not on Algo, I still like the NFT, popularity. And I think that more and more NFTs that get out there, hopefully they start to realize that, hey, the expense on ETH to create and transfer is just not worth it. Let's switch it over to Algo because it's a better blockchain system all around. Plus, a lot of these companies, I bet they probably want the green crypto tag. So who wants to produce an NFT and then get popped with something that says, you're being wasting energy, right? They don't want that kind of PR. Speaking of PR, all right, last bit of news here. So Aaron Martinez, he headlines the HDL Group headline news. So go check out the website there. You can probably find it. I'll link it if I can here. And they're partnering with the Texas Blockchain Council. It got kind of cut off on my screen here, but hopefully you can make that out. And this is cool. This announcement actually came out roughly a week ago, so this is not new news, but I was revisiting it, and I noticed something here, that Aaron Martinez He doesn't list himself primarily as the editor-in-chief at Headline. He lists himself primarily as the founder at Iron Oak Financial. And a couple of weeks ago, he put out an all-points bulletin for folks with crypto experience, an SEC attorney, marketing specialists, and he's looking to start up Iron Oak Financial, which is really interesting. Now, the website itself for Iron Oak Financial isn't up yet, but I'm curious as to what he has planned, and I always want to follow the money and see what's going on there, and you should too. So, Headline News, awesome. Go check out the website. I did. It's got some really cool, relevant, news. Their whole thing is, they want to be unbiased, and he does a good job there. But it's interesting to find out what he's got going on with this Iron Oak Financial. So stay tuned. We'll keep an eye on that for you and let you know if anything comes of it, who's got investing, or if he's just a sole investor, or what's going on there. But as always, I want you to stay safe out there. Keep your algos safe, and tune in tomorrow. Will you be a day late and algo short once again? I'm Monty Allen. This has been your Algo News, and talk to you tomorrow.